Oh my god. I forgot to click the start stream. So, I read ahead and then I realized that I didn't click this. I mean, the start stream. So now I'm gonna reread it. Ghostbusters! I mean, yeah. I'm hoping this works now. Chapter 1 Ghostflusters. Content note: this chapter contains abuse, trauma, and alcoholism. This was probably under Jane. The void resounds. Space seizes and warps as the bounds of relevance erode away to nothing but the wistful nostalgia of times past. There is a hole in the middle of the universe, and it is hungry. A black hole. But all the denizens of this particular iteration of Earth-C don't know it. All of this is just business as fucking usual for a planet plagued by war, continuous inclement ghost weather, and the general malaise of being absolutely severed from canon. They spent their days absorbed on the petty and pointless pursuits of having jobs, and raising families, and falling in love. That's Callie for you. In the midst of this, a middle-aged man kneels in a garden. It isn't his garden, and he already has a name, but we will begin our story with him regardless. Plants, Jake has decided, are really the best sort of chums. They are quiet, friendly, and easy to please. All they need is a little water and fresh earth, and they are perfectly happy to lie there all day in the sun. And they don't make increasingly inhumane arms deals and appear on talk shows expounding on the dangers of interspecies marriage. They have never, as far as Jake known, fucked a clown. Looking at you, Jane. John had been such an incredible pal, opening up his home to Jake and his son on such short notice, and even offering him a pair of pants, as well as a shirt that he has so far neglected to put on. John's house doesn't have air conditioning. It's a charming little cottage, but it sure as aces could use some airing out. And dusting. And just general upkeep. The old place has really gone to seed since John's been away. Jake shudders to think what sort of state his own mansion is in. Jane will probably have it demolished now, he imagines. It, like the rest of his assets, is in her name. She'd seen to that as soon as they were married. Back at Shea Crocker, there had been a legion of hired help to take care of the ins and outs of running a household. Jane's far too busy to bother with such things, and Jake, well, he just never bothered. Why should he, when there are other people to take care of it for him? But the first decades of easy living don't change the fact that he spent the first 16 years of his life in the deep, lush bush of the South Pacific jungle. There certainly had been no one to cook and clean and bring down the big game then, besides his grandma, but she had him shooting as soon as he could hold a pistol. No pistols are shot today, but Jake is determined to have the place in tip-top shape by the time John gets back from wherever he is. He hasn't seen much of Tavros today either, but that's not unusual. He's probably out with his cosmesis, the one he thinks Jake doesn't know about. He washes the floors and windows, cleans a toilet or three, and chases a family of squirrels out from inside the attic wall. They chitter angrily at him, but he doesn't back down. Oh. Okay. I need to make sure that I'm actually streaming. Hold up. It looks fine to me. Okay. As the day wears on and the shadows grow longer, Jake washes the dirt out from under his fingernails, and his eyes fall on the bottle still sitting on the counter. John had opened it, but together they'd barely touched the stuff. Jake had promised him and Tavi he'd try up his act and all, but, well, one thing at a time. Oh, God. Flashback. Or something. The jungle air is heavy, humid, and familiar. 20 years on, and the thick drag in his lungs settles on him like a blanket of nostalgia, reassuring him in its discomfort. A pistol is strapped to his leg, and all around him the shadows move in slow, threatening sweeps. He is deeper in the jungle than he'd ever venture in his waking hours. There were places on his island that not even Gran would tread, and she'd been the bravest person he'd ever known. Here there be monsters. Jake doesn't recognize anything. The jungle of his dreams is wild and unknown, and there are things moving in the dense underground. He slaps a mosquito on his neck. Sweat drips into his eyes. He drops a hand to his gun, the tension prickling hot and tight at the base of his neck. A sudden wind thrashes the canopy. There are pine needles in his mouth. There aren't any pine needles in the jungle. The only warning Jake gets is a resonant growl that seems to come from every direction at once, before the monster is on him. A lithe creature of darkness and fury, with more legs than any mammalian has a right to. He hits the ground hard enough to drive the breath out of him, but he doesn't have time to catch it. He has to run. He knows in the deep prophetic way of dreams that he is no match for this monster. This sounds familiar, like the monster from Hive Swap. It is right behind him. Its hot, damp breath waffling at his hair. What does it feel like to be eaten? He's about to find out. Ooh, dirk hand. That's a dirk, right? Who? Dirk? You're welcome. But you're dead. Nah. Yes, you are, and I know that much. I saw your body. I carried your coffin chock full of those stupid fucking swords. Nope. Don't know me, mister. I know a dead dirk when I see one. Sure you do, but that wasn't me. Are you really surprised to find out I got a couple of spares? So what you're saying is you aren't my dirk. That is a whole nother conversation that we really don't have time for, pertaining to exactly who or what your dirk actually constitutes. Do you mean the dirk from your timeline? Then yes, that dirk is dead. If you mean the dirk that you fucked and ghosted, no, I'm not your dirk. If you mean the dirk that you felt closest to, that you really knew, I thought you said we didn't have time for this conversation. I just want to know how you can be here and also in the ground. You let a guy spend a couple decades as a dominatrix trophy husband and he forgets all of his old friends. Fucking rough. What about the good time, Jake? What about when I almost made you shit your pants in front of a blue girl? Ah, brain ghost Dirk. In the ghosty flesh. Crumbs, bro, where have you been? I could have used someone on my side. You just disappeared one day without even the odd toodaloo to mark your passing. That isn't strictly true. I did disappear, but it was in a catastrophic blaze of hope-drenched pathos. I even threw out a couple one-liners. But you wouldn't remember that. Because it was a different Dirk? No, a different Jake. Until recently, there's been a shortage of ambient narrative relevance for Dirks, since one particular motherfucker has been sucking it all up like a thirsty little twink at his first interspecies rave. That's the Dirk that we saw in the first part of the prologue. The first part of Homestuck 2. Twink. Cripes, this is confusing. It appears that no matter what timeline we're inhabiting, I can count on you to be absolutely impenetrable. Don't worry about it right now. It's important I'm here, and that's what matters. I suppose I'll just have to trust you. Yeah, good luck with that. Whoa. Okay. The last stream. Consciousness hits Jake like a bottle to the back of the head. In fact, the bottle is on the table, tipped over and sluggishly dripping from the mouth. The kitchen reeks of whiskey and his head pounds. At least he'd been home alone, and nobody had seen him slip back into his old habits. Strange days, Jake thinks to himself, and strange dreams. That was a real humdinger of a nightmare. He hasn't dreamed of Dirk in years, and it had felt so real, almost like he could have reached out and touched him. Wait. What's happening? Oh. Oh. What in the flibbergating fuck? That's not a word. Dirk! Sup? Am I still dreaming? I have to tell you my dream hangovers are not usually nearly this bad. I wasn't going to say anything, but holy shit, dude, you really let yourself go. Not to say the sloppy drunk look isn't working for me, but it absolutely is. But come on, man. You passed out in front of a puddle. You passed out in a puddle of your own drool. And what the fuck is that on your face? My face? What do you mean on my face? The mustache, Jake. Whose idea was that? Oh, you don't like it? I didn't say that. Point is, you are a fucking wreck, and no amount of well-maintained facial hair is going to be enough to hide that. Not from me. Now see here, Buster, don't you know the situation? You haven't been here. We've had this conversation before, dingus. I'm you, and I'm me, but I only exist because of your powers. Like, his Page of Hope powers. The fact that I'm manifesting here in the new universe outside of a dream is evidence in itself for just how absolutely boned you are. What are you doing? There's a war happening. All of your friends are out here fighting, and you're just here. What? Dusting? Taking care of a house that nobody actually uses? You've been a useless sack of shit for 2 decades. I'm here to kick your ass back into active duty. You spent years feeling sorry for yourself, totally convinced that you made the wrong choices and that it's all over. And it's easier that way, isn't it? If you're a lost cause, you don't have to try to be better. But do you want to be better? Remember all those dreams about adventure, life, love? Remember when Tavros was born and there were so many things this world you wanted to show him? Beautiful things, Jake. But none of those are going to come from sitting around playing house husband to your acto son. Well, what do you propose I do if you're so gosh darn brainy? I'm a cracking goods marksman and no slouch when it comes to fisticuffs, but what good am I in a war? I've got some panache, but I can hardly hold my own in the face of an army. And what side am I supposed to be fighting on? For Jane or against her? Against her, obviously. What the fuck, dude? But you were the one who wanted her to run in the first place. You wrote her bloody speeches. Yeah, I did, and every single one of them kicked ass. I wanted Jane to be the democratically elected president, not a cake-slinging Jeff Bezos with a great rack. Jeff Bezos, you say? Jeff who? Don't worry about it. The point is, you have a chance to make a difference. You're in the perfect position to infiltrate her operation. Like, a spy? Don't try to tell me it doesn't appeal to you. Sexy little suit, slick-backed hair, a bunch of weapons hidden in unlikely places. We're both liking this idea more and more. Well, I do look fetching in a cummerbund. Wait, no, you've tricked me with thoughts of spies and hijinks and 2 bros against the world. I left Janie. There's no going back now. She isn't exactly the sort to live with, and I let live, you know? That's horseshit, and we both know it. Jane would take you back in a second. She loves you. Not to be maudling brain ghost Dirk, but Jane hasn't cared about me in a very long time, if she ever did at all. I thought you knew everything I do. There's a part of you that still hopes. You can't help it. You'll never be able to help it. You're going to hope for a brighter future until you're in the ground. Better you than me, honestly. Sounds exhausting. You're going to do this, and we both know it. So why are we even arguing? And that was where I realized I wasn't streaming properly. So, I've caught you up. Wait, this is them now? What are they? Whoa. What? Woo! Okay, so Jake can only see the ghost Dirk. Oh, Jake, something awful has happened. It has? You mean more awful than usual? The opposition has taken Tavros, Jake. They finally have shown their true colors. I knew it was only a matter of time before they attacked our family directly. Oh, well, the scamps. It was then that Jake realizes Jane isn't mad because she never realized he was gone. It makes sense. There's plenty of times when the two of them didn't cross paths for days at a time. The perils of living in a mansion, he supposes. She seems to have forgotten that she'd been cross with him the last time they met, because now that Gamzee is gone, there's no one left to talk to. She recovers from her crying jag with grace, straightening up and wiping her eyes. Miraculously, her mascara remains unstreaked. Even in moments of vulnerability, she is bulletproof. Jake stands there and listens as she lays out her plans of vengeance and violence, and he makes himself smile and makes himself nod. Honestly, it's not unlike any other night he'd spent with Janie lately, right down to the pit of misery gnawing somewhere below his belly button. What? All of this is made worse by the occasional wry glint in her eye, one moment of self-deprecation in the slant of her mouth. Reminds him of the Jane he used to know, or the Jane he thought he used to know. Then there's the ghostly presence of his former beau and his best bro. That's different. At first, Dirk stands at Jake's elbow, a one ghost support staff, before he appears to lose interest in Jane's rant and wanders way off across the office, reading the spines of the books and spending way too long staring at a phallic piece of installation art. Wait. the provenance of which Jake doesn't know, but could hazard a guess it wore a codpiece. Then it settles on Jane's desk, propping his ghost butt there and just sort of, well, here's a picture of what he does. Oh, draw him like one of your French girls. It's loosely connected to the epilogues. But yes. Whatever the case, it's distracting, and by the time Jason loses steam and dismisses Jake from her presence, he's thoroughly exhausted from attempting to pay attention to the supervillain wife while trying not to look at the crotch of a ghost man from his brain. Wait, so Jake is still... Hold on, what? Dirk, I don't think I can do this. What do you mean? You just did it. You kicked ass back there. I didn't do anything. I just stood there, felt bad about myself. All according to Keikaku. Translator's note, Keikaku means plan. It worked. Congratulations. It's only I promised I would never come back here. Promised? Promised who? Myself. I decided that enough was right and jolly well enough. You say you know your onions when it comes to me and my troubles, but you keep asking stupid questions. Jen and I had quite the gabfest the other night, and I felt hopeful for the first time in years. Like you really could turn over a new leaf and it all felt like berries from here on out. I really didn't think I'd fall for the wagon so quickly. I didn't think being here is good for my emotions, to be honest. Yeah, probably not, but that's okay. They don't matter. Prince of Hearts speaking there. Oh, I suppose you're right. With what masculinity and all of that, true man's lip remains stiff even in the harshest of circumstances. Don't know anything about stiff lips, dude. But that's not what I mean. It's not because you're a man. You're a god. Oh, right, that. The world comes first, even at the expense of all your relationships and personal happiness. That's what being a hero means. You ask the Avengers that. I guess I never really thought about it like that. Think what you want about Jane, but at least she realized that none of you can ever be normal. She never bothered to try it. Can it really be a god complex if you're actually a god? People like us don't get happy endings. That's bleak, Dirk. I don't think I could possibly believe that. I know you're born from all the little bits and bobs inside my mind, but oh boy, I don't think I've ever thought something like that, even on my darkest days. Yeah, that's probably more a Dirk thought than a Jake one. I told you, it's hard to tell sometimes. Is that really how Dirk felt the whole gosh darn time? It doesn't matter. Huh? Oh no, I have to save. This was so short. This was so short. What the hell? Yeah, it took me a while. What's this bonus though? Catnapped. Let's see this. Oh no, it's a Patreon. God, I can't see that. Okay, let's check the log to make sure that... Alright. Guess that's all there is. But what's up with the bracketed arrow? This is a really short stream. Homestuck cringe. Ooh, got him. An update should come soon. Oh, how do you know that? Never 2019. This is the only news, though. Snake solutions. Huh. What pumpkin and snake solutions? Okay. I thought this was in the hands of some other website, but okay. Snow Mountain Blood, a vast error story. Oh. Interesting. Well, thanks. It's only 20 minutes, though. I mean, what else could I do? Once a month. And did it already update this month? Or maybe it's gonna come out, when? On Christmas. On Christmas. Merry Chrysler. Merry Crisis. Merry Crisis. Merry Chrysler. Happy Christmas. I mean, if this is the Dirk that's been hogging all the importance, but what is he gonna do on that planet? Well, I bet it's gonna come out before around Christmas time. In that case, I could probably stream it after I get back from Hawaii. Yeah, I'm going to vacation to Hawaii early 2020 for a week. So you won't get, hopefully, pest requests would be done by then. So, if there's nothing else, I guess I could end the stream here. It's pretty short, but thanks for watching. And hopefully I get to read more later.